People might not know Japan's flag, nor its renowned scientists, but they do know Pikachu, Conan, Luffy, and Zoro, names as familiar as their own. This is the language of anime, Japan's most globally recognized identity. But what defines this language? How did Japan transform anime into the cornerstone of its global identity, and why? How has it contributed to Japan's economic growth? And more critically, how did childhood innocence become a hidden danger, delivering poison to our children wrapped in candy? From red to rainbow, the popularity of Japanese anime has succeeded in embedding a more humanized image of Japan. If I told you that Nazi Germany under Hitler killed millions during World War II, you believe me instantly. And if I added that the Soviets, Italians, Americans, and British committed similar acts, you wouldn't be surprised. But what if I told you that polite, gentle Japan did the same, if not worse? Many would be shocked, yet historical reality paints Japan with a gruesome and violent colonial past. From mainland China to the Koreas, Hong Kong, Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, even Indonesia, Japan's World War II atrocities reached unspeakable levels. In China alone, Japanese forces killed 36 million people. Another 2 million were killed in Vietnam, and double that number in Indonesia. Let's not forget the Nanjing massacre, which destroyed a third of the city's homes and left 300,000 dead, alongside the rape of over 20,000 women and girls. Reverend James Malcolm wrote in his memoirs, "I don't know when this will end. I've never seen such brutality in my life. Rape, rape, and more rape. 1,000 cases daily. Any objection was met with a bullet or a stab to the heart." This was all Japan. In response, successive Japanese governments sought to erase that horrific image and present a gentler face to the world. In 1972, Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs established the Japan Foundation, tasked with fostering international friendship through art, cultural exchange, academic collaboration, and Japanese language education. Part of this mission involved launching global anime exhibitions to soften the empire's ugly legacy, an invasion by soft power rather than blood. Joseph Nye defines soft power as a nation's ability to shape the preferences of others through appeal and attraction, rooted in values, culture, and policies, especially in human rights, the arts, and ethics. At the forefront of Japan's soft power arsenal stands anime and its illustrated counterpart, manga. To that end, the Japanese government allocated $500 million to the Cool Japan Fund, aimed at rebranding the nation and exporting kawaii, cuteness, culture, primarily through beloved anime characters. These were spread via anime exhibitions around the globe to wash away blood with multicolored brushstrokes. Could argue anime is one of the earliest and most widespread global cultures today. Though anime's global surge was strategic, its journey began decades ago. In 1917, when early Japanese artists attempted hand-drawn animation, but with primitive tools and meager budgets, Japan couldn't match the rising American industry led by Walt Disney. The market stagnated until World War II, when the Japanese Navy produced Momotaro's Divine Sea Warriors to boost troop morale, marking anime's first ignition. After the war, Toei Animation was founded by Hiroshi Okawa, who sent a team to train at Disney. Then came the father of anime, Osamu Tezuka, whose 1963 anime, Astro Boy, began the modern era. Following a dormant phase, Japan's 1980s economic boom catalyzed anime's true global expansion, coinciding with the Japan Foundation's image makeover strategy. By 2016, Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs reported broadcasting content exports valued at 39.35 billion yen, approx. $358 million, 77.1% of which came from anime. In 2018, the anime market exceeded 2.18 trillion yen, $14.5 billion, propelling anime from Japan's soil to every corner of the globe. Unfiltered translations. With the explosion of translated anime online, no ethical filters or age-appropriate selections were in place, granting unrestrained access to anime in its raw form. While dubbed anime once offered social and educational value, translated anime exposed children and teens to unfiltered, potentially dangerous content. No censorship. Since 2012, anime has reached nearly every country, rendering ethical and cultural censorship nearly impossible. A single click grants access to all forms of Japanese media, regardless of religious, sexual, or philosophical distortions. This leads us to Japan's cultural religious makeup, which is steeped in ambiguity and syncretism. In the 3rd century BCE, Japan adopted Shintoism, which emphasizes interaction with a spiritual force in all things, called kami, believed in by approximately 80% of Japanese. In the 6th century CE, Buddhism entered Japan, and due to compatibility, the two faiths merged, eventually absorbing influences from Catholicism and Western Freemasonry. Post-World War II, Japan fell under Western globalist influence, where sexual exploitation, family breakdown, and labor market dominance became rampant. The American Chamber of Commerce even urged Japan to legalize same-sex marriage to retain skilled workers. In a society blending pagan spirituality with materialist utility, what kind of art can we expect? Otaku culture. Anime's vast global spread created a massive fan base, so deeply devoted they formed their own subculture, the otaku. An otaku is a person obsessed with anime, manga, or any Japanese pop culture export. The term became popular across social media and fan communities. Yet, this obsession often carries unnoticed cultural risks. From a creedal perspective, anime is saturated with spiritual confusion. Depictions of pagan gods, good demons, and supernatural spirits are common. In one famous series, killing becomes the path to justice, enabled by a death god who empowers the protagonist to judge the world. In another, the world is ruled by divine giants, with mass extermination framed as a noble goal. Even when framed as dramatic tension, such themes profoundly affect youth minds. On a deeper level, characters often express nihilism, denying life's meaning entirely. Other shows, like Naruto, revolve around chakra, the spiritual energy of the body, based on flimsy pagan mythologies. As for lifestyle influence, female characters are often hyper-masculinized fighters, while male characters are feminized or sexualized. For instance, in Attack on Titan, the strongest fighters are Mikasa and Annie, while Armin is portrayed as soft and androgynous. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, male characters are effeminized to extreme degrees, not to mention the rise of ecchi and hentai genres, near pornographic content disguised as romantic dramas, some even featuring incest. And all of this is readily available, subtitled, for our children. This raises a pressing question. What are the long-term effects of these ideas and representations? Anime also carries social and psychological consequences, ranging from isolation and identity fusion with characters to even marrying body pillows. But the most dangerous effect isn't in behavior, it's in subtle ideological influence. According to Robert Zajonk's mere exposure effect, repeated exposure to any idea or image makes it more familiar and appealing, even if initially rejected. This principle is so powerful, it underpins modern advertising. Likewise, Philip Davison's third-person effect shows that people tend to think others are more easily fooled by media while they remain immune. This false immunity, combined with long exposure, means we may absorb alien beliefs without realizing it, believing ourselves too mature to be influenced. So, is it truly safe for our children and teenagers to engage freely with anime? Or are we still pretending it's just cartoons?